Fellow Nigerians, my name is Comrade Timi Frank. I am a defender of democracy. I am here to update you on the latest developments of the 10th Assembly under Godswill Akpabio, the show of shame that was demonstrated today in a live national television, where the Senate under Akpabio was telling the whole world and Nigerians that they are going on vacation, and the clerk of the National Assembly has paid money to every account of the Nigerian senators.
In order to enable all of us to enjoy our holidays, a token has been sent to our various accounts by the clerk of the National Assembly.
This is the biggest joke we've seen in recent time. But that is the main reason why I'm making it bold and very clear that Senator Godswill Akpabio must immediately resign as the Senate President.
Hello, my great and wonderful people. How una day today? I hope all of una day well. Today we get a comprehensive videos for our team. We're going to be so one quickly the review to you one after the other. I beg today's broadcast will take a little time. Patient with us as we'll take one after the other. Just as you rightly see some from the introduction, yesterday we received a video from the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, aka Oga of your mic. Now, it don't come outside. How senators take they share our money for every of their vacations. When they hear say senators they go on holidays, we don't know say their salaries not they reach them, their allowances not they reach them. They get extra money when say that they share for them to go by welfare, to go enjoy their holidays. No problem. Now, Nigerians on the come outside, they demand Akpabio. Before now, we all understand, say, Godswill Akpabio not qualify for this position. Now, because of, say, now corruption, they give birth to corruption. Now, it make Godswill Akpabio, they there, where Amebola Tinibu, they pinpoint Akpabio to put for that very position, just to do his own bidding. We understand everything. And now, God don't they expose them one after the other. And their confession time don't start. They don't they expose their own self-identity one after the other, even beyond the one when it be say we don't know before now. And because of time, I want quickly leave you first. May you first watch the full video of Godswill Akpabio, where it will make the whole world understand how they share money for their own holiday, before we bring you the demand from Nigerians for Godswill Akpabio to automatically, as we talk now, make it resign as Senate President. Watch this one first. We'll come back for more.
Of the leader, and then as soon as Senator Umahi takes his oath of office, we shall rearrange the office of the leadership. In order to enable all of us to enjoy our holidays, a token has been sent to our various accounts by the clerk of the National Assembly. I withdraw that statement. In order to allow you to enjoy your holiday, the Senate President has sent prayers to your mailboxes. To assist you to go on a safe journey and return. This Senate.
All right, my great and wonderful people. I believe say una see the man when they put as the Senate President of Nigeria, a very crucial place of this nation to decide the issue when it drive this nation. See the man when they run the affair as the Senate President. Who no know. Who no sabi, no sabi. No matter how you train a village boy to become a king, one day, that village mentality must display itself before the queens and kings of the world. Now, it be this very one. You give pig white robe to wear, and you spread mocha food for ground, make pig lie down put. For your own mind, say pig dey comfortable. You no remember, say, when pig will remember his own identity, he will definitely abandon the white robe, the mocha foam, and return to the mud, because na there, na in it belong. Na nature, na it be that very one. You know if you cheat on. All right, now back to Akpabio. I think it never reached how many weeks here when it be say Labour Union Congress come outside, they make demand concerning the increments of the workers' salaries and wages. Teachers own dey there. Doctors dey on strike because of say they not get their own salaries. They not increase their even the salary when be say due to them. We go back to the federal government and also the Senate. They say money not there. They don't remove fuel subsidy. Money not there everywhere. Petrol don't high. Diesel don't high. Everything don't high. Even prices for food don't high. Even for inside this very year, when it be say I'm a Bola Tinibu to enter as the president of this country by force itself into Nigeria. Now we take see how it be say that they reward all these senators. Now their allowances, their salaries not reach them. They still they give them token to go bewe for her. And that token now, if they tell you how much this country na joke, Nigeria na complete joke. You see? All right, no problem. We don't want to labor this matter too much. We want quickly leave you, make you hear from this very man when it be say he come outside. They urge all Nigerians to join us. Make we lift up our voice to demand Akpabio. Make he resign. Make he go back to your own village. He not first of all qualify for the position. Now, it don't dey obvious to the whole world. Akpabio, go home. Listen to and we'll come back for more.
Fellow Nigerians, my name is Comrade Timi Frank. I am a defender of democracy. I am here to update you on the latest developments of the 10th Assembly under Godswill Akpabio, the show of shame that was demonstrated today in a live national television, where the Senate under Akpabio was telling the whole world and Nigerians that they are going on vacation, and the clerk of the National Assembly has paid money to every account of the Nigerian senators. This is the biggest joke we've seen in recent time. But that is the main reason why I'm making it bold and very clear that Senator Godswill Akpabio must immediately resign as the Senate president. He cannot continue to make mockery of our democracy and make mockery of Nigerians. This is the same man who made mockery of the poor and made it very clear in the Senate chamber and said, let the poor breathe. Meanwhile, he was laughing because he knows they will definitely never allow the poor to breathe. They will continue to suffocate the poor. And that is what he has demonstrated today on a live TV by sharing the resources that belongs to the poor to their personal accounts. So I use this opportunity to call on President Ahmed Bola Tinibu to end this joke and Nollywood of Akpabio, that this is the time he, the president, must tell Akpabio to resign for this show of shame and national embarrassment. Nigerians can no longer take this in this APC government anymore. Nigerians have suffered too much in recent time. We did not vote our senators to come and take money from the poor to go on a vacation. The poor needs this money. Today, our civil servants are suffering. The Nigerian masses are suffering. There is no food for the Nigerian man to eat. There is no food for the common man to eat. But yet, these senators are sharing money for just mere vacation for them to go and enjoy themselves. I'm using this opportunity to also ask the clerk of the Senate to immediately resign and explain himself. Where does the Senate, or where does he have the money he's paying into the account of the senators for their welfare for vacation? As at the time when Nigerian workers are demanding for salary increase, are demanding for the minimum wage to be increased, but yet the same people who said let the poor breathe have refused to increase the minimum wage of the Nigerian workers. But yet these same people have the guts to come on a national television to tell us that they are sharing money for their vacation. This is a total shame. It is very clear before today. I've told Nigerians that President Bola Ahmed Tinibu's government will be well patronized by corrupt politicians. Akpabio has demonstrated that today on the national TV. Akpabio has shown that since the inception of the Nigerian Senate is the most corrupt Senate president ever Nigerians have witnessed. So therefore, I use this opportunity to call on the Nigerian Labour Congress to cease every discussion and communication with the federal government until the salary of Nigerian workers must be increased. Nigerians can no longer bear this. This Nollywood has to end, and the time to end this Nollywood is now. So I appeal to all Nigerians to prepare for a total shutdown until Akpabio resigns as the Senate President of Nigeria.
All right, my great and wonderful people, I believe you don't hear everything by yourself. Because of time, we don't really get much to talk concerning that one again. We'll leave you to share your own opinion with us for the comment section, even as we take you down to this next update. This morning, we promise you of the issue when EBC if they go on for Niger Republic right now. How EBC, Bola Tinibu send his own strongest men to go meet with the coup plotter, which is the soldiers for Niger, and they bounce them back, even France and USA. The only person when EBC they give access to meet with them, which is to meet with the real man. The man when EBC is there for the steering, the driver's side of the Niger Republic right now. Now, Lamido Sanusi, Lamido, when it be the former emir of Kano and also the former central bank governor of Nigeria.
I can't tell you what I discussed with the president.
We saw you earlier in Niger today. Is that what you discussed with Mr. President ahead of ECOWAS meeting tomorrow, sir?
Yes, I came to brief him on the details of my discussion with the leaders of of Niger.
Would you say your intervention was positive, successful?
Interventions are ongoing, and we'll continue to do our best to bring the two parties together to improve understanding. This is a time for public diplomacy. It's not a matter that we leave to governments. All Nigerians, all Nigerians need to be involved to find a solution that works for Africa, a solution that works for Niger, that works for Nigeria, and a solution that works for humanity.
There are also reports that you took this initiative by yourself and you're not the government's delegation.
No, I'm not the government. I'm not.
Okay.
I was not sent by the government.
Okay.
The government officials were aware I was going, but it was my personal initiative using my personal contacts to get there, and I will continue to do my best. It is my duty as a leader to do that.
All right, my great and wonderful people, I believe you don't hear everything by yourself. You know, the reason why we carry this video call, now the last question when this journalist asked this man, and thank God for the life of this journalist when they ask this question, whether now the government send them go there as their own delegates or in go there by his own self. And thank God for your own response. Now on his own, now in it go there, nobody send them. Then you ask yourself, waiting a whole federal government of Nigeria send delegate go, their strongest men, the Islamic scholar of Sokoto, when Ibese is sent go there, they not respond to them. And even as an ECOWAS head, they not respond to them. Even as the body, they call themselves as block of head of states of ECOWAS, they not give them any regard. Now, in only one man go. That will not prove to you. See, when it be say you take authority by force, in a way when it be say everybody understands, say, you not qualify. There is no way when it be say even the common rats of that land will take or call you any respect. Not be waiting signify, not being be that very one. This one not supposed to tell Bola Tinibu, say, even the land, they fight them. The small children, they fight them. The day and the night, they fight them. Make it carry a bag and baggages. Encourage the judiciary to do the needful so that make it go rest. No, they take the matter of this nation, Africa, to be a do or die affair. They vow with their own life, say until they die, they no will leave this land for waste. And they will die leave this land. Oh. They come meet this land, they will die leave am. That's so it be. All right. We'll leave you to share your opinion with us concerning that very one for the comment section, even as we take you down to this other video. And this video and the video going to be seen with the receive from this human rights activist of Africa, this woman. He come outside to engage the Al Jazeera for a very intensive interview concerning this whole matter when it be say it they go on for Africa. Most especially this indirect slavery when it be say that they impose on the Africans, they use our leaders, they implement. I want to make you listen to this woman. We'll come back for more.
You know, amplified by us talking about Africa so much as opposed to talking about Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Ghana. Should we be, is our illiteracy in this level so obvious that it's a real problem? And do these kinds of summits that bring everyone together do a disservice to that kind of getting to know each country more distinctly?
I think for the United States, and I'll repeat it, and I used to repeat it all the time during my tenure, what really is behind the failure of effective engagement with Africa is the disrespect of the Africans. That's where the problem begins. If we cannot accept, if the United States cannot accept Africans as equal partners, if the United States, for example, let's look at this particular meeting, this particular summit. There was no defined agenda. There has never been defined agendas whenever they meet with African countries as individual countries. It's always the United States setting the agenda, the United States setting the policies, and the United States telling the Africans about the policies. That is no way to have any meaningful engagement. If you take, for example, the FOCAC meeting that was held between China and the African heads of state, way in advance, the issues were clearly defined. The agenda was going to focus on trade. It was going to focus on aid. It was going to focus on investments. The African heads of states were engaged in the discussion, in the planning. The outcomes were clearly defined with a way forward in terms of follow-up. It was a fruitful meeting that addressed the issues that needed to be addressed between not only African countries individually with China, but also Africans collectively with China. There is no published agenda. There are no issues that have been presented to the African heads of states. Africans have not been asked to engage in terms of creating the agenda and making sure that when the African heads of states come to Washington, the outcomes, the issues to be discussed are going to be meaningful outcomes with follow-up and deliverables that are going to be beneficial to both. It remains a one-sided conversation with the United States telling the Africans the agendas and the policies. The Africans are not on the table to discuss issues pertaining to us, wherein lies the problem. And the reason that continues to be the case, what underscores that is the disrespect for Africans. I repeated it. I complained about it repeatedly. It is a serious problem. The United States must understand that Africans are not going to take it anymore. If you don't treat the Africans fairly, the United States is going to see itself slowly losing ground to China, to Russia, to all other nations, because without respecting the Africans, without treating the Africans as equal, without understanding that exploitation and abuse of Africa simply cannot continue, this meeting, this summit, is going to be yet another gathering with no outcomes, no deliverables until the next summit. I'm sorry, but the disrespect of the Africans is at the bottom of it all. Agenda for this meeting should have been set out in advance. Africans should have been involved. Without the involvement of the Africans in these discussions, this is a useless meeting. I'm sorry, but that is the fact.
No, I am very grateful for your candor, and it sounds to me, I think there was a lot of criticism of the last summit like this under President Obama, that there was like no follow through. And, it's one of the big questions I'm asking is, how do you make a big bang summit where everyone comes over? It's like checking off the box and say, okay, we've done Africa, now we can move on to other things. How do you make that something that's a more sustainable and a more continuous engagement of the United States with Africa? And what I'm hearing from you is, frankly, a lot of disappointment and a lot of pessimism about what may come out of this summit.
Well, the point of the matter is already nothing is going to come out of it because it is a one-sided conversation.
Right.
Where is the agenda? The agenda should have been published way in advance. The African leaders should have been given an opportunity to also state their position so they can come up with an African position that can then be discussed alongside the American position. So the fact that it is a one-sided conversation that is yet going to be another useless meeting with no outcomes. But again, I'm going to keep emphasizing the reason this is happening is because there is a disrespect for the Africans. There is a general feeling that we don't need to hear from the Africans. Their opinions do not matter. That wherein lies the problem. Why were the Africans not consulted? Why were the Africans not part of an agenda? Why was there not even an agenda like what happened during the FOCAC meeting with China? Those are some basic issues. No head of state. President Biden would not pick up and go to meet with any other leader in the world without an agenda. That simply doesn't happen.
Right.
So what makes the U.S. think that they can engage African leaders without an agenda? Come to Washington, let me tell you what I want to do for you. Come to Washington, let me tell you what you need to do in your country. That game is an old game.
Right.
It's not going to work anymore. To be honest with you, if I'm to speak the truth, I hope a lot of heads of states don't come because it is an insult. It is an abuse of the African leaders. It's a disrespect of the African leaders. Where is the agenda? Please respect the African leaders. Do unto them what you would want done unto you. So it's really a simple ask.
Let me ask you a question. You mentioned China and how China approaches this. I'm interested in what China gets so right. But is there a blind spot there? Are there problems in the China-Africa relationship from your perspective?
Let me just hit the nail in the head and deal with the 10,000-pound gorilla in the room. Yeah. Racism as well plays a very important part. The disrespect of the Africans also goes back to a lot of the people who work in the U.S. government, not all of them, but there's a significant of them who automatically assume that Africans do not know what they're doing. Africans need help. Africans need to be told what to do. And racism is also at the bottom of it all. We need to address the individuals who are going to be visiting Africa, engaging Africa. They must understand that Africans are equal to them. But when one goes to Africa with a sense of superiority, wherein lies the problem, because you are not going to engage those leaders who are going to come to the table as equals. You go in feeling superior, you come back feeling superior. That is not an issue with the Chinese. The Chinese are coming in. The Chinese, yes, if you don't negotiate with them and they win the game, then that's your fault. But they don't come in feeling superior. They understand that Africa has something they need. So they will come to the Africans. They will come and make sure that they let the Africans know that you matter to us, that our relationship with you does matter, that you don't get that feeling with the United States.
All right, my great and wonderful people, I believe you don't listen to everything. The reason why we leave you to watch this full video, now for you to understand the reason why Ibisi Amebola Tinibu remain as the president of this country, Nigeria, and the US not talk. Sure you understand, say now the position for their own use. If you listen to this very woman, if your brain open well to listen to her, you will understand, say, they're not the negotiator. Now, where will profit them? Now that they tell you, say, now so it will be. So your own opinion no counts. Waiting happen to you and your people, it not too much matter to them, in as much as their own, they okay. That one is America for you. Yesterday, we published a video when Ibisi concerned Amebola Tinibu, the total breakdown. I see that very video. And for the comment section, people come outside say, if truly say that documentary say not true concerning Bola Tinibu and his own drug case for Chicago, where he be say if for lose a lot of money to America, say America for not let her go, therefore put her for jail. You don't understand where he be say he involve negotiation, give and take. No government of the world, when it be say they're not they engage for negotiation. When it be say when it be say involved for that crime, nothing meet up to their own demand. Now there you they go in for the matter. And they remove that money from Bola Tinibu for that very time. They set them free. They tell them say make it not enter America again. But now when it be say not be America in the war now Nigeria. Nigeria na sovereign nation of its own. And your own people supposed to defend the nation by deciding, according to the past record, say something like this or somebody like this, nothing come outside to be our president. If you feel acceptant, who be America when it be say, he know the rule when he will reject her. In as much as they will still even use her as a hook to draw from the nation when it be say, they become president because they know his own background and his own history. If you do anyhow, you will see anyhow. I believe say you understand how things they go. Because now people when it be say they be hook for their own hand. When it be say they will feel shake anytime. Now in that they give the mountain of leadership for Africa. So that then they say will feel see every possible way to penetrate anytime, any moment without any question. Because you as a leader, if you raise up your head, they will tell you where your own belong. I believe say you understand. The reason why I say that they fight our legitimate leaders when they say they're supposed to lead us for this nation. When it will make Africa see lights. I believe say we don't see her now. All right. I'll leave you to share your own opinion with us in the comment section, even as we draw the line of this very broadcast here. We'll see you again when we see you. Remember, we love you all. Bye-bye.